Now, we'll come back to the exciting work you're doing with Background Checks International, Kola. We'll come back to just the awards and the last few years, the amount of space God has given you. But I want us to go back to 1965. You were born in 1965, and what happened? You weren't born crippled. What happened?
All right, thank you so much, Chim. I was born 65, like you rightly said, but that was during the civil war in Nigeria. And my parents were in Port Harcourt, that's the south part of Nigeria. And so the civil war prevented them from making me take the polio vaccine in Port Harcourt. So it took another 2 years when my parents found themselves the western part of Nigeria, running away from the war zone. So when we got to Lagos, that was when I was given the polio vaccine. But incidentally, after the vaccine was applied, 2-3 days after that, my mother discovered that I was not really behaving as active as I used to. Then the high fever came in, and that day came, and I fell off the pool, and I was to get up, and I was not able to do so again. And like my mother told me, the 2 legs were even gone then. I was crawling on my chest, and that was when the whole problem started. And thank God along the line, I regained life in my right leg, but the left leg was totally paralyzed. And maybe because it happened so young, when I was so young, I never counted it as something any serious. Until maybe I was around 9-10 years old, that we had to go to our village that's somewhere in the south-west part of Nigeria for Christmas. And the Christmas of that year happens to coincide with the Masquerade festival of the village. And of course, I grew up in Lagos, that's the former capital of Nigeria, so it was not a big deal to someone like me. I'd never really seen serious village masquerade. I don't know how active they are. So that day, that was one of those days while we were in the village. Some of my cousins, some friends, and I think 2 of my siblings, we all decided to hit town to go visit some uncles, some aunties, and just see the whole place. When we got to the market square of the village, then we had these drummings. And it was far off, then at a point it was getting closer. And of course, at that point we saw people running helter-skelter, and I asked my cousins that actually live in the village, I said, what is happening? They said that masquerade must not meet anybody on the road. So everybody took to their heels, my cousins, the friends, and then my siblings. And then I wanted to run. And I discovered, almost for the first time, that was different from others.
It dawned on you that you were crippled.
It just dawned on me that I can't do what others are doing. And at that point, I started crying and shouting to everybody. I said, please wait for me, come carry me, come help me. But it was every man for himself. Everybody just took off.
In the book, you said that was the point where you got your life motto of trust. Is it trust no man or what?
Yeah, trust no man. You know, in the midst of that, the drumming was getting closer. Everybody was still running. I was hopping. I was falling. I was crying. Then at a point, I told myself, I never cared again whether the masquerade catches up with me. I just told myself, all right, so this is the way life is. This is the way people you feel you can trust will take off when you think you need them most. So that point in time, I was young. Incidentally, I don't know why I still always remember. I was young, but from that point on, I told myself, I'm not going to trust on anybody in life. I'm not going to rely on anybody. I'm not going to pity myself. I'm not going to allow my disability to be an hindrance to me in life. And I mean, my mind was made up from that point.
And it was from that point you got your can-do spirit. Remember the story in the book about driving a car?
Yes.
Without a license, without
even knowing how to drive it. That's going to be my first time of moving the vehicle. And of course, it was the three-pedaled vehicle that they taught with the brake and then the clutch. Of course, the left leg was gone. So it was a dilemma for me. I was going to orchestrate between the three pedals. So moving the car out of my father's compound for the first time with the help of a friend, and then we just hit the main road. And incidentally, I told a friend, I know I can drive.
And you know, I looked at that story and I said, it's just the grace of God that you didn't kill yourself on that day. But all this while you hadn't known the Lord. You are just created thing of like, I'm going to pull myself up on my bootstraps and I'm going to make it. And it got to a stage where you met the Lord. Tell us about that. Tell us where you met the Lord.
Yes, I actually met the Lord my first year in the university. In fact, my first or second week in the university.